All right, Jerry, thank you very much. Oregon moves to 8-0 and 5-0 in the Pac-12 Conference. Chip, sharp effort from beginning to end by your team today.
Yeah, they had a great week of preparation, and that's what showed up today on the field. I thought our guys, right from the start, really focused, understood the game plan on both sides of the ball, and we got contributions from not only the offense and the defense, but special teams today. So, I thought it was pretty much still got a lot of work to do, but I think it was a complete game by us.
It was interesting during the week when we had a couple of your players on Tuesday night, and they talk about coming out and being sharp, just like you talked about, and the preparation, and really worrying about yourselves and not necessarily who you're playing. And that's, again, it looked like they just followed it to a T today.
Yeah, that's been our formula, since 2009, and that's what we follow. That's what we know, and it's led us to this point right now. So we're going to probably stick with it.
Offense scored on every possession in the first half, and then DeAnthony's electrifying punt return, very efficient. The decision making, but at the line of scrimmage, the offensive line did a great job.
I thought they did, and again, it always starts up front. And, we're getting a lot of guys rotating in, but I think we're getting consistent play up there, staying out of the negative yardage situations. I thought we protected the ball real well with our first group, so capitalized on their one kickoff return fumble. But that's what this team is. We feed off each other. So.
One of the things that's been noticeable the last couple of weeks, and maybe it's been this way all season, but your backs are very patient. There might not be something there right off the bat, and yet they don't hurry the play, and then it just begins to develop, and they pop it.
They got a good feel. We've got a couple special guys back there that can really make this thing go, and you combine them with what our line's playing like right now, and then the threat of Marcus keeping it, I think really makes it very difficult for defenses.
And the defense that played great in the first half, too. 104 yards of total offense is all Colorado has for the game, 2 of 13 on third downs. So from beginning to end, the depth, everybody really chipped in defensively.
They did. We got an opportunity to get everybody in today, and, it's always experience for those guys. The more experience they all get, the more comfortable they get in that environment, the better off it's going to be for us.
It's a confident group right now because this is an offense in Colorado, and you talked about it during the week, that moved the ball on people. Maybe didn't get points when they got in the red zone, but have moved the ball pretty well, and yet this Oregon defense just looks like a very, very confident group right now.
They do, and their confidence is based on their preparation, and that's the key to what we're doing. And we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to be decent.
Special teams, kickoff coverage, punt coverage, and then DeAnthony's punt return. That's, again, special player, get the ball in his hands. Funny things happen, don't they?
Yeah. He's just a special player, and wasn't designed like that, I can tell you that. But they keep kicking it to him. I think good things happen to us. So.
And to top the day off, rainy day, 57,500 Oregon Duck fans out there, and a great showing by the Oregon crowd again.
Always is. It's an electric place to play. Our kids love playing at home. It's a special, special place, and I think our record at home proves that.
November coming up, 3 of the 4 games on the road, and road games, like you always talk about, are a particular challenge. It all starts at USC. So, Coach, have a good week of practice. We'll look forward to talking to you next week after the USC game.
We will. Thanks, Shorty.
All right, Jerry, back up to you.
All right, guys, go ahead and wait for the mic, please. We'll take calls. We'll take questions.
Robin Eugene. You mentioned this week, I think you said nobody plays a perfect game, but it seemed like your ones when they were in not only won, but were pretty clean. Not a ton of penalties, turnovers, things like that. So what bothered you about it? I know you have to watch the film. Was there anything that those groups did that really stood out when you're on the sideline? You're like, okay, we got to fix that.
I don't know. They were pretty good today. And then I'll find something to pick on them about.
Coach, on DeAnthony's punt return, is that one of those no, yes deals, or does he kind of have the green light to do that as long as it's not, like inside the 10?
He's, still learning about the decision-making process back there. I think that one was okay. There's a couple others that he's fielded like that during the year that it's not okay, but, he has a little bit of leeway just because of his ability once he gets it in his hands, and it's, he's just a special player, and that's not coaching, I can tell you that. I mean, he brings a smile to your face. He's fun to watch. There's not a lot of guys that when you get a chance as a coach, you kind of just sit back and marvel at him, but he's one of those guys, and if he can field as many punts as he wants if he keeps doing that.
Any other questions, guys?
Got some out back.
Really?
I got hands out back.
Coach, I know that the ultimate goal is to get the win, but is there What's the decision-making process on your end to get the ones and the twos enough work in a game like this where you score a lot of points? Do you want to get them out early to protect them from injury, or what's your decision-making process there?
We're just trying to figure out when we feel like we have the game in hand, and we have a lot of kids that practice extremely hard and that they deserve to play. We constantly rotate a lot of guys just to begin with. We're playing a lot of guys. What we consider our ones. There's a lot of guys we consider our ones just because of the depth that we have in this team. But we got a bunch of guys that practice extremely hard, and we don't talk about this being a dictatorship or a democracy. It's a meritocracy, and if you merit playing time and by what your performance is during the week, then you're going to get in the game. And so, we don't flinch when we're up. I think we were subbing in the middle of the second quarter, making sure that those guys get a chance because down the road in a game or two, someone may get nicked up, and those kids got to play. And you don't want to throw a kid out there in game 9. You're like, I wish I could have got him some experience earlier, but. We got a confident group of guys because they've been through a lot of things. A lot of kids have taken a lot of snaps so far, and we really believe that will pay dividends to us, as we keep going down the season. And it's still a long season. We got 4 more games left in the regular season. We're guaranteed a bowl game at least right now, so we got to just keep plugging away.
D'Anthony's been relatively quiet in Pac-12 play. What is this? He kind of seemed to explode this game. With a bunch of runs, that punt return. What is his inclusion to the offense?
It makes us a lot better, But it wasn't, I think some other teams have done a decent job of defending him. It wasn't like we did not, try to get him the ball or get the ball in his hands, in some of those other games. But I'll give the other teams we're playing credit because they did a good job of tackling him in open spaces. And, he's been a play away, you just think one guy away from, doing what we kind of consider he should do. But I think when you have somebody like him, I think we all get spoiled that, every time he touches the ball, he should, have a 35-yard run or a touchdown. But he's been a part of our game plan. He'll continue to be a part of our game plan. But I just think it's some days one guy is the guy, and other times other guys are the guy. And that's the good thing about this team is we have more than one player, and when it's not totally relying on one guy, it's a whole group of guys, and that's what makes us the tough team to defend. Is I thought Josh Huff had a really good day today. There's games where sometimes Josh isn't targeted as much, but if the defense is going to try to take away the run a little bit more, then our receivers are going to open up things. And I think you got a quarterback that's a really good decision maker, and he understands how defenses are trying to defend us and make sure that the ball's in the right guy's hands.
Chip, as you've been going through the season week to week, you may not be aware of this, but a lot of people outside the program are really eagerly anticipating Oregon USC. What point
I'm aware of that. We have an approach, but it's not like I live in a box. I know when this game is. And I've known it's November 3rd. I know we play Cal at Cal after that. Stanford comes home on the 17th. The Civil War's on the 24th. I know the schedule.
If you give yourself like a 24-hour rule here, at what point do you really turn your attention to SC?
It's a normal game. Tomorrow, we'll break down their film just like we normally do on a normal Sunday process. So the process is the same, but
What is that process?
Sunday we come in, we'll be in tomorrow morning early, and we'll grade this film from the day before. And after we're done grading that film, then we start to go through, however many games, the 8 games that USC's played, and watch them from that standpoint. Then sit down and watch them from a cut-up standpoint. And I'll have a press conference due at 4:45 on the dot. Then we'll come back out of that and start to meet offensively. Stay here till about 11. Go home for a little bit, get to sleep, get up the next day. We'll probably come in around 6:30. I'm going to get a bagel over there. We can keep going, but it's the same schedule.
You talk always about your players looking forward to the challenge. How much are you looking forward to the USC challenge?
I'm excited. It's the only game we got next week, so we're going to focus on that one.
Are the bagels here as good as they are in the Northeast?
They do a good. What's that? No, you go to New York City, it's a real deal. Well, they're as good as they are in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. I can tell you that.
Chip, Brian Bennett, has had not the most consistent season up to this point, but a really strong game out of him today. What did you see out of his effort?
Brian did a really nice job, made some really, really good decisions out there. Sometimes it's hard when Brian gets in there at times because, there's not the people that he works with all the time, and it's kind of maybe some different receivers that he doesn't have the same timing with or different group up front, but I thought he really managed the game and was really, really pleased with how Brian played today.
Questions? I have Marcus Marietta in the other room. You ready? All right.
He's got a question.
Oh,
We're good. We got a couple more.
How do you feel about Avery Patterson's effort stepping up for John Boyette? Key block on D'Anthony, long touchdown run. How's he stepped up since Boyette's been?
I don't think Avery stepped up since John's been down. Avery's played a lot of football even before John got injured. Was a real key member on our team last year. I think he was our 5th leading tackler last year. Really what we see out of Avery, again, it's what we see every day in practice. He's a tremendous safety for us, really smart, really intelligent. I think he's got two touchdowns on the year. Got a great knack for the ball. He's always around the ball. Real physical player. I don't think people realize that. A couple hits last week in the Arizona State game, and they were kind of surprised. But real physical player. Got a great understanding of what we're doing, and has been really one of the keys to our success. And I think we've been playing really well on defense, and Avery's one of those reasons.
Coach, Marcus Mariota every week seems to be improving on his game management. He's picking up first downs, moving the ball, moving the chain when he needs to. How much of a weapon now?
I think he's a huge weapon, and I think when you have, Kenyon and D'Anthony, and then you got Marcus, you got, what we got out wide with Huff and Murph and all those guys out there, Keenan Lowe. I really think you're making people defend everything, and you just can't focus and concentrate. I think people watched the Arizona State game where, hey, we're going to try to take your running backs away and make the quarterback beat you, and he runs 86 yards down the field, and maybe go over to the sideline and drop another defense. So that wasn't exactly what we thought we should be doing, because he's a threat to score with the ball in his hands, whether he's running it or throwing it. He's an extremely accurate passer. He's a great decision maker. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, he rarely makes the same mistake twice. He's a great learner, and if he's been in that situation once, he processes it very well, and then we'll come back, the next time, and you made one of those deals of fool me once, fool me twice. Now it's not going to happen. So I think he's a legitimate weapon, and I think that's one of the reasons where we are right now, being 8-0, is because of what he does for us offensively. So.